Hello. Hi. How are we doing? Welcome back to my part of the internet. How are we doing today? We're doing a podcast style video because I really wish I had a podcast, and I don't, and I can only nurture so many hobbies at a time. So I'm not starting one, but I'm gonna do them on here. The dream is to start a podcast with my friend, Chelsea, but one, we live on different continents, and two, neither of us are that organized. That's so not true. She's one of the most organized people I know. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. I think I posted one of these before, maybe on an old channel, or yeah, I think I posted one last year on a different channel. When I was trying to have two different channels, and then I didn't post anything else on that channel, so I stopped. Basically, every year, like, leading up to my birthday, because I'm sappy, I do a little list of things that I learned. I'm going to share with you a list of 28 things I learned in 28 years, because I'm 28, I turned 28 last month. And, I've learned a lot of things. I like making this list because it's really fun to go back and see what I thought was so profound when I was, like, 20. Not that I'm necessarily trying to be profound, but back then I feel like I was, and the things that I said are just silly. Number 1, if you make a promise to yourself, keep it. It's a hard one to learn, because I feel like it's really easy to be like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this today, and then someone else will be like, hey, you wanna hang out, or hey, do you wanna do this, hey, do you wanna do that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm all for a spontaneous hangout. I'm a sucker for that. I feel like it's a hard lesson to learn, and I feel like it's a lot about, like, learning to trust yourself. And if you don't keep promises to yourself, then how do you know you're reliable? It's a hard journey for all of us. Number 2, other people's perceptions of what you do and how you spend your time is not relevant. And man, oh man, is this one hard. But no one else knows what the fuck you're up to. You know what I mean? Like, no one else is in your head, no one else knows your plans, your goals, your all that kind of stuff. So if other people are, like, judging what you're working on, what you're not working on, what you're doing, what you're not doing, it's not relevant, because they don't fucking know. It's not helpful. Number 3, start small, growth will come. I feel like this one is really hard in the age of instant gratification. We all know this. We all know about fucking scrolling on TikTok for that quick hit of dopamine, ordering shit online because it'll be there tomorrow, things that come instantly, cheating to make things faster. But I just read Atomic Habits, okay, and, like, I know everyone's read that book, but it's new information to me, and it is helpful. Like, small things really lead to bigger things. They help you grow. You can't do anything if you don't start. Number 4, I feel like hurts people's feelings, but tread carefully when taking advice from people whose life you would not want. I feel like this is just the plight of being in your 20s, is everyone is constantly trying to tell you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it and the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. And sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's not. And it's always fine to listen. You can choose whether or not to take it later. You don't have to be rude to people's faces. But I think it's important to acknowledge who is giving us that advice, what their ulterior motives might be, what their life looks like, and if that's something that you want your life to look like. If it is, great, but if it's not, maybe they're the wrong people to be taking advice from. Take advice from yourself. You know yourself the best. Number 5, I feel like relates to number 1, but it is nobody else is gonna figure it out for you. What I mean by that, obviously, like, it's great if you have people in your life that want to help you and can help you figure things out, and that's not to say that that isn't helpful, but overall, like, no one can figure out what you want out of your life. Number 6, progress is not linear. Sometimes you're gonna be on a fucking hot streak working on something for days and days, and it's gonna be going so well, and all of a sudden you're gonna hit a block and you're gonna stumble and you're gonna fall, and or you're gonna get sick, you're gonna need to take a break, life is gonna get too busy, blah 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 blah. Doesn't mean you're not making progress. It's just not always a straight fucking line. And that sucks, and I really want it to be, but it isn't always. And that's just life, baby. I'm 28, right? And I, thus far, have lived a very, let's say, untraditional lifestyle. I didn't go to college. I've never worked, like, an office job. I've never had, like, a 9-to-5 per se. I was a bartender for a really long time. I was a server for a really long time. It's really easy to look at other people and be like, oh, well, they did all the things and their progress was step, 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 but you don't actually know what was going on with them, you know what I mean? It's easy to be like, oh, well, these people went to college and then they got a fancy job, and then they got a promotion, and then they got another promotion, and now they're doing blah blah blah. But we have no idea what happened on that track, you know what I mean? It's easy to think other people are just going up, but no one is just going up ever. At least I don't think they are. If you are, please tell me how you're doing that. But number 7, if something is not working for you, change it. It's a lot easier said than done. But for example, you don't like your job, try to find a new job. It might take a fucking long ass time. Finding jobs is hell on earth. If you've not applied for jobs in the last 5 years, maybe you don't think it is, but oh my god, finding a job is terrible. But if you don't like your job, you gotta change it. If you don't like where you live, you gotta change it. Everything takes time and everything is really hard. But it's worth it. Moving here was really fucking hard. Mostly because I was having a lot of health issues leading up to the move. But like, I'm happier now. I'm happier for it. It was a lot of work, but we did it. You know what I mean? Number 8, changing the thought from I wish to I will is a game changer. And that sounds so fucking cliche, but it's so true. Like listen, the manifestation girlies know what they're talking about, rather than just being like, oh, like, I wish I could, I don't know, what do you want to do? Rather than being like, oh, I wish I could start a YouTube channel. You just have to be like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, and then do it. Sometimes you post for over a year and very few people care about your content, but I digress. Number 9, how you speak to yourself means everything. Listen, it's so easy to sit at home and be like, I'm so stupid, I'm so lazy, why can't I do this? I'll never be able to do that, blah blah blah. It's not helping anybody, and it's just putting you in a bad mood. There's no need. And it's really hard to start like positive self-talk or whatever you want to say. It's hard, but once you push through the kind of like awkwardness, it gets easier. Like something that I like to do when I really don't want to do something, but I know that I'll be happy later if I've done it, is I'll say out loud or to myself, I'll say, if I really loved myself, I would do that. And then I have to do it because I'm like, well, surely I have to love myself. And I do. It took time, a lot of time, but I do now. So cheers to that. The world sucks enough as it is. You don't need to be piling it on for yourself. You know what I mean? Number 10, you are not late to living your life. You are right on time. That one fucking kills me, and it is so hard to grasp, and I still struggle with it sometimes, but I feel like this is more of an early 20s issue that I've kind of worked through, that I always felt like I was running late and I was behind and I needed to catch up and all this stuff. Truthfully, did I think that I was just gonna turn 25 and not need anything to do anymore? Because I feel like that's what I was thinking. It was like, I think that I need to accomplish all of my life's goals by the time I'm 25 or I'm a failure. But then what happens? I'm 25 and I'm just out of stuff to do? Like, life goes on. You're not, like, you got time, you know what I mean? It's fine. Number 11, some habits come around to help you through a certain period of life but are not meant to stick around forever. Thank them and let them go. Sometimes when you look back and you're like, oh, I used to be a dancer. Why am I not dancing anymore? And like, it's not that, like, if I wanted to dance now I could, but like, that hobby and routine was really important at a certain aspect of my life, and it's less important to me now, and I don't have to be upset that I stopped doing it. Like, I feel like it's really easy with hobbies, especially. I don't know why we get hard on ourselves with hobbies, because they're just supposed to be little things we do for fun, but it's easy to feel like, oh, why did I quit that? Oh, I quit another thing, I quit another thing. Maybe you were just trying it out for a while and it was great for that period in your life, and if you want to go back to it, cool, but if you don't, thank you and goodbye. Number 12 is a fucking great one. If you actually want to maintain reading as a hobby, you have to read the books that you want to read and not what you want other people to think you're reading. Holy shit. This is so true. And it's not that I necessarily was like, oh, I need people to think that I'm reading these books, but it was like, I only thought to read books that other people had recommended or were talking about, and they weren't necessarily interesting to me. And then I got really into reading at the end of last year. And now I read so much because I found genres that I'm interested in. And you know what got me out of my reading slump? Rereading the Click series. And that is a book for fucking 12-year-olds. And it is a series that I read when I was like 12 years old. But it's a great series. And I literally reread the entire series at the end of last year. And it got me out of my reading slump, and now I read every day. I read like 17 books so far this year. Maybe I'll do a book video one day. It's great. If you want to be a reader, you just gotta read shit you care about, and also get a Kindle. It changed my life. Anyways, number 13. Manifestation is mostly just about changing your mindset and the way you spend your time. I feel like the common misconception about manifestation, and maybe I'm fucking wrong. I have no grounds to stand on to be talking about this, okay? I don't, but I'm gonna talk about my personal experience, my personal thoughts with it, and if you disagree with me or I'm wrong, that's fine. I feel like everyone who's like new to manifestation thinks that it just means like putting something on a vision board, never thinking about it again, and then one day it's just gonna appear, like being like, I want to go to Italy, and putting it on your vision board and then just thinking that one day you're just gonna all of a sudden be in Italy. I don't agree. I think manifesting is about keeping things top of mind rather than putting it on a piece of paper and forgetting about it. I think it's about reminding yourself often about your goals and your interests and making sure that you're aligning your day-to-day actions with those interests. Trying to bridge the gap. Who said that? There's just a fucking, okay, it's just a cliche quote, but it is what it is. Being like, what can I do today to bridge the gap from who I am to who I want to be? But it's true. It may be a cliche, but it's fucking true. And I feel like that's a better way to look at manifestation. It feels more tangible that way, to be like, I'm in charge of my own destiny and all that. You know what I mean? Number 14, check on your friends, check on yourself. Number 15, boundaries are your responsibility to enforce, whether they're understood or not. You can hope for people to respect them, but at the end of the day, it's your job to enforce them, and it doesn't matter whether or not anyone else understands. You say that a certain topic is something that you don't want to discuss, and people keep bringing it up, rather than getting mad at them, you can just remove yourself from the conversation. Try to change, like, it doesn't have to be a whole thing. You can try and change the topic, but if it won't change, then you can just be like, I have to pee. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm gonna step outside for a second. You can just remove yourself from the situation. You don't have to be somewhere that you're uncomfy. You don't. Ever. 16. You can tell there's a fucking pattern going on here, and I really was reevaluating my life. You are solely responsible for how you spend your time. We all love to say that we don't have time, and a lot of us don't. A lot of people are much busier than I am. But when you start trying to prioritize things that you care about, you'd be surprised how much of it you can fit into your schedule. I paint almost every day now. I would have easily before been like, I don't have time to be painting every day. Actually, I do. That's my choice. If I want to be creative, I could be creative. If I want to make YouTube videos, I can make YouTube videos. It's really easy to be like, I don't have time, but lots of the time we do, and we're just actually looking at our phones. Maybe you're not like that. Maybe you're better, but I can actually do a lot of stuff during the day. Not always, but lots of times. Number 17, the energy you put out will be the energy that returns to you. Basically, if you are an asshole to people, people are going to be an asshole to you. If you're nice to people, people will probably be nice to you. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. If you're in a silly, goofy mood, it's probably going to make other people be silly, goofy. If you walk into a room and you're all like, ugh, people probably aren't going to want to talk to you. Number 18, and this one fucking stings. The world is full of opportunities missed because we were too afraid to try. You can't say that you can't do something if you haven't tried to do it. And truthfully, you can't really fail at anything unless you quit before you succeed at it. I saw that somewhere, I didn't make that up, but it's true. YouTube, for example, okay, I've been posting for over a year. I have like 117 subscribers, I think. For all intents and purposes, that's not very successful, but I like doing this as a hobby, so I'm going to continue doing it. It would be cool if my channel became bigger one day, but that will never happen if I don't keep posting. And trust me, because I've started and stopped many a YouTube channel in my day, and I kick myself all the time for stopping. But like, I mean, one, I can't really fail at this because it's a hobby, so like, if no one watches it, it doesn't really matter because it's a hobby, but there could be an opportunity with it, and I'll never know if I don't try, You know what I mean? Number 19, we as humans are constantly evolving. Don't hold yourself back because of who you once were. I feel that one in my fucking gut because I've been so many different people and I've gone through so many different stages and phases of life. And I thank all of them, most of them, but I'm not the same person that I was even last year. People grow and people change, people evolve. I was working in a garden today. Last year, you would not have caught me touching dirt. Today, I was touching dirt. You know, people change. Number 20, there is a distinct difference between talking shit and venting to your friends. And you know the difference deep down. You can tell when you're just like being an asshole. Or when you like, I need to get something off my chest, I need to get someone else's perspective, I need to get someone else's opinion, blah, 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 blah. Gossip isn't always bad. Just depends how you're doing it, you know? Number 21, never chase someone that is trying to walk out of your life. Number 22, not every hobby needs to turn into a moneymaker. You are free to enjoy things just for the sake of it. Holy shit, that one's hard. Ever since I was literally a child, anytime I had the tiniest interest, I was like, what if I could turn this into a business? I haven't, but like, that's always in the back of my head. Me and my friend, when we were kids, were trying to start a lip gloss business because we wanted to learn how to make lip gloss. Instead of being like, we're just gonna make lip gloss for fun, we were like, we should sell it. We didn't because it was lumpy and terrible, but we wanted to. And some things can turn into careers and that's great, and like, because we all need to make money, and if you can make money doing something you enjoy doing, that's even better. But we can't all do that all the time. Sometimes you can just do stuff because you enjoy doing it. Sometimes you can just have a good time. Sometimes it can evolve, and if opportunities should arise, sure, take them, but like, you can do stuff even if you're bad at it. We went to a mug making class, we like made mugs. I wasn't good at it, but we just had a good time. I want to do it again. Not because I think I'm going to sell pottery, but it's fun to make. Number 23, never be so stuck in your ways that you don't allow new information to change your perspective. I feel like everyone on the internet anyways, real life is very different, but on the internet I feel like everyone works in very extremes and will be so stubborn about stuff that you won't change your mind even if you learn something new. And that's silly. We should all be able to be like, oh yeah, I did used to think that, but then I learned this and I was wrong and I changed my mind. It would be sick if we could all do that, but people just dig their heels in, and it's silly. I'm wrong all the time. Literally all the time. But then I learn new things and then I'm like, oh, that's different than I thought it was, and now I think differently. And that's great. We should all be able to learn. Number 24, don't waste your money buying all the new things for a new hobby that you haven't even tried yet. Try it with stuff that you have, or buy just the tiniest amount of stuff that you need to start. And if you like it, the supplies will always be there. You can go buy them later. But you don't need to buy, if you're just learning how to paint, you don't need to go out and buy all the best, brightest, most expensive paints and most expensive canvases and brushes and blah, blah, blah. You can use stuff from the dollar store and see if you even enjoy it. And then if you do, you can always evolve your collection of supplies as you go. Don't waste your money, because what if you fucking hate it? The dollar store is underrated, true. They got good art supplies. I know there's other hobbies, but I don't have them, so I don't know about them. Number 25, holy shit. It is not normal to be a millionaire, and you are not a failure for making a normal income. Maybe I just spend too much time on the internet. It is not my fault. I am, what am I? A zillennial? Gen Z? One of the two. So I've spent a lot of time on the internet, pretty much my whole life on the internet. And a lot of people on the internet are millionaires, or at least present to be millionaires. That's not normal, and that's great for them, and if you become a millionaire, like, sick. Good for you for having money, but like, most people don't live like that, and it's totally fine. And I'm not a failure because I don't have $1 million bank account. Number 26, it is always worth it to take the time to set up your space. Anytime I'm working or writing or painting or doing yoga or reading and I take the time to like set the vibes of the room, even if I'm just watching TV, if I'm like, oh, I want to watch TV and I want it to make it feel like an activity and not that I'm just like being lazy and watching TV because I don't have anything else to do, set the vibes in the room, clean off your coffee table, put on some nice lighting, get a nice drink, put your blanket out nice, make it look nice. if you're writing or working or whatever it is, clear off your desk. Put a little drink on your desk. Make it feel welcoming and not overwhelming. It just sets a good tone, and then you'll be in a better mood. Number 27, the healthy choice is almost never the easy choice. And I don't just mean with food, I mean in general. Things that are healthy for you, for your mind, body, soul, not always easy to do, but usually they're worth it. You'll feel better in the long run. I saw something the other day that was like, I don't know if this was in Atomic Habits or if I saw it on TikTok or whatever, but someone was like, don't choose activities based on how you feel. Basically, they're like, if you are like, oh, I want to go to the gym in the morning, but you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm tired. Don't be like, well, I'm not going to go to the gym then because I'm tired, because going to the gym will probably make you feel awake. You know what I mean? I don't go to the gym currently. I used to, but currently I live in the middle of nowhere, so I do yoga at home, and it's so easy to be like, I'm too tired, I don't want to do yoga, but then I do it and I feel better. So like, choose the activity not based on how you're currently feeling, but how you would like to feel. Number 28, the big 28, because that's how old I am, the list is done. Number 28, your morality is not linked to your productivity. You are not a good or bad person based on how much stuff you get done on any given day. You're not a better person if you do more shit. You're not a worse person if you do less shit. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're a good person. It might have to do with whether or not you're a productive person, but it doesn't make you good. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't mean anything other than you got stuff done that day or you didn't. I've been 28 for about a month now and I'm having a good time. 28's a good age so far. I feel like the nice thing with aging is the older you get, the better you know yourself. And that's kind of nice. Getting older's nice. I'm really happy to be out of my early 20s. Early 20s are fucking hard. That's all I have to say for now. So, thanks for watching my little podcast ramble. Whatever the fuck. Subscribe if you want to see more shit. It's been cocktail content up until now, but who knows what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what it is. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you somewhere else on the internet. Goodbye.